10 o'clock news will be coming up shortly, but first join us for the newest documentary series, The Impact of Modern Video Games.
It's the 21st century, and technology now plays a huge role in our lives than ever before. One form of technology that has become central in some people's lives is video games. Video games first came about in 1958 when Willie Higginbotham invented his game Tennis for Two. Shortly after, the rather simplistic yet challenging Pong was released. Pac-Man, commonly known for the birth of the arcade games, was introduced in 1980. Subsequently, Mario Brothers was the starting point of the introduction of gaming levels. The advanced graphics in Mortal Kombat formed a more realistic and raw portrayal of violence. Later on, in 2004, Sims was released as an imitation of real life and increased player control. Shortly after, the game Angry Birds was available on mobile technology. As technology advances, people are now able to play video games on the go on a daily basis. The progression of video games led them to be incorporated into different genres, such as action games. For example, Call of Duty, roleplay games, adventure games, purpose games. So what effect does constant use of video games have on players? Games such as Flappy Birds are seen to provoke frustration that ultimately leads to aggression.
It's the most irritating game ever because I can't get past like 2.
Whereas, purpose games such as Wii Fit promotes a healthy lifestyle as players are able to participate in various activities such as yoga and aerobics. Are these effects becoming a problem or a solution for players?
The representation of gender has become a trending issue and concern amongst audiences. However, the way gender is represented varies within the different video game genres such as
Action games. Action games such as Call of Duty allow males to have a more dominant role while women are absent. Why is this?
I think it's because Call of Duty is special forces, and actually the first Call of Duty is World War II, and I don't think at that point there were many women at the front line.
Adventure games. These games do allow both gender to have a leading part. However, the majority of the time is the female in need of saving.
It would be a bit weird to have a female saving a man, and if you have like a man saving the female, it gives like a goal to the game or a quest.
Roleplay games. Portrayal of gender ranges within this genre. Games like Sleeping Dogs allow missions to consist of women with their bodies exposed, while others, such as Sims, give women more promising roles such as mothers. Purpose games. In purpose games such as Wii Fit, the portrayal of gender is irrelevant, as there are no aspects of sexuality shown through the personal trainers.
They don't focus on women having to do yoga and men having to do anaerobic and aerobic exercises. It sort of makes a balance between the sort of approaches that women are more feminine and gentle and men have to do muscle exercises.
In this episode, we will be exploring gender representation in video games. By gender representation, we mean the different ways in which males and females are portrayed within the media.
For instance, in the Blurred Lines video, women are sexualized through their revealing clothing and provocative dance moves, while the men are given a more dominant role as they encourage the women to behave inappropriately. On the other hand, adverts such as Mr. Muscle give women a domestic role, while they portray men as a superhero whose duty is to help the woman in need.
Are females portrayed too provocative, or do modern games actually represent them more empowered?
Yeah, I think women in video games are definitely presented provocatively. They've always got skimpy clothing, it's always tight, they're usually busty.
In 2013, the game Last of Us was released, whereby one of the main characters is a teenage girl who is not objectified, but is given a masculine role as she defends herself by the use of weapons. However, since 2008, the GTA series has been belittling women to sexual objects, such as prostitute.
There's a strip club which really has nothing to do with the game. So women are just being established as these tools or things for entertainment.
Nevertheless, the portrayal of females in Tomb Raider has got better, as in 1996 Lara Croft was presented in tight clothing, which caused controversy and led to the evolved version of her where she looks more like a heroine character.
A lot of the time, women especially are seen as subservient, sexual objects. Even when they are seen as action heroes, they're still curvy and dressed in a certain way.
To show how audiences respond to gender representation in video games, we conducted an experiment. This is our first participant, Sharika, age 15. She'll be playing Call of Duty Ghosts. This is our second participant, Jerome, age 20. He'll be playing Grand Theft Auto.
Well, in Call of Duty, like, the women's roles is pretty much exactly the same as the men's role. Because before, the women's role were non-existent. They weren't in any Call of Duty games.
In GTA, women ain't really got a main role. Like, they're not the protagonist or even the antagonist. They're just tools for the player's amusement. Like, they're made to be stuff like strippers and prostitutes and just tools for the players to like run over and shoot and stuff like that.
After the break, we will be continuing with the experiment and finding out how our third participant, Joe, responds to male representation.